Hey guys, it's me Simo Orahara and here we are again, diving back into the secret stories of Bleach Rebirth of Souls, and this time it's all about Toshiro Hitsugaya. Honestly, secret story included some information, some aspects I really wish to see in the anime or manga, because they revealed a lot of things. Like how Toshiro's early days as a third siege looked like, his conversations and training with Isshin, and how he viewed Isshin as a captain, and even one of the events I truly wanted to witness, how Matsumoto and Toshiro reacted to the news of Isshin's disappearance, and how she and the others handled it afterward. But before we get into the core of this video guys, while I was making it, I saw this post on Reddit by a fan who shared pictures showing the game sales, and according to what they said, the physical sales of the game, especially for PS4 and PS5, are very low. And this honestly made me a little sad. I know there's still hope thanks to the digital sales and also Steam sales, but I really hope the game sale pick up somehow, enough to keep it going and encourage them to make or include the 1000-year Blood War arc, because I read that some fans are criticizing the creators for not including that arc, especially since it's one of the most popular arcs right now, especially with the anime's return. And I'm not an expert in gaming marketing or what numbers companies rely on to decide whether to continue or cancel a project, but what I do hope is that this won't be the final Bleach game on consoles. Now guys, let's go back to our main topic. This secret story, just like many others, begins with Toshiro's old past. A small child with silver hair and green eyes, living in Bankai, where people avoided him because of his cold appearance. And actually, Toshiro always seemed to me like a living embodiment of an ice dragon. It's as if he was born to wear the strongest ice-type Zanpakuto, Yurimaru. At the same time, I always wondered about the mystery behind how some of non-noble souls are born with such extraordinary power and uniqueness. We can understand someone like Isshin, Kyoraku or Byakuya having great power since they are nobles. Byakuya even confirmed this, that nobles are born with high spiritual energy, and the same logic applies to Quincy's, for example. Those with pure blood are born with Bleach and don't need much training to activate it. But on the flip side, we have souls with insane power who, as far as I know, came from Bankai. There are many examples like Zaraki, Kin and Toshiro, and I might even add Aizen Sasuke to the list, unless it's revealed he came from a noble family. And as for Orihara Kizuki, I strongly suspect she is noble too. That's why guys, either it is random that the soul society in every era just happens to birth souls with that kind of power, or maybe there is a hidden reason that we don't know about. Anyway guys, whatever the cause, Toshiro even as a child had immense power. There were multiple signs that he would grow to become a prodigy. For instance, he saw Yurimaru's true form before even becoming a Shinigami or acquiring a Zanpakuto, and even his spiritual energy was manifesting as coldness. And this is what Rangiku saw and noticed by chance, and she was the one who suggested he should become a Shinigami. Of course, we saw all of this in the manga and later in the flashback, Everything But the Rain. We saw how Toshiro joined Squad 10 as a third siege, with Rangiku as a vice captain of Isshin at that time. But the game gave us now more things we didn't have, like Toshiro's early days as a third seed and his first trip to the world of living. And we can see this as an extra flashback, so to speak, connected to Isshin's flashback. It gave us another perspective on Toshiro's first days in Squad 10 and how both Rangiku and Isshin treated him. For example, we see how he used to call her, Matsumoto mom, and how Rangiku would tell him not to use that title. We can say that both Matsumoto and Isshin were the only ones who truly accepted Toshiro and admired his talent, unlike the others who often showed fear towards him or didn't acknowledge his talent, like those two squad members who clearly knew about Toshiro's identity and the rumors that he was a prodigy and that he had achieved Bankai while still in the academy, a fact so unbelievable that they thought it was made up. And by the way guys, this particular piece of information that Toshiro was able to use Bankai during the academy days was never mentioned in the manga or anime. It was something Kubo himself revealed in one of his answers on Club Outside. And that's what I love about these secret stories, guys. They sneak in Kubo's answers and build them into the narrative one way or another. However, guys, those squad members' doubts about Toshiro being just a rumor quickly fell apart when he actually fought a hollow. And since Toshiro could already use Bankai at that point, using his Shikai in battle was no big deal for him. And so after Toshiro protected those officers, they finally understood who Toshiro truly was. That he wasn't just an ordinary Shinigami. And later on they even came back asking to train with him. And here's where he says something beautiful, guys, that the feeling of alienation he once had began to fade away, and that it wouldn't have happened without Rangiku. And also, this wonderful scene appears, showing Isshin from behind. Toshiro adds that it was also thanks to Isshin, who created that good atmosphere within the squad. And after that, we see a few scenes of Isshin talking with Toshiro. It seemed like Isshin used to check in on him during his training and helped him in training. Maybe that's when Isshin foresaw that Toshiro would eventually become the next captain of Squad 10 after him. But one of the scenes, guys, that I truly loved and really wanted to see was those first moments right after Isshin disappeared, and how the look of shock appeared on Toshiro's face when he received the news. Of course, that kind of disappearance in a such way was never going to be easy. We're not talking about a random member vanishing. It was the captain of the squad. I imagine it must felt just like what happened with Kira, Hisagi and Momo, suddenly finding themselves without a leader and having to carry on and maintain things as best as they could, just as they were during the captain's time. With that being said, guys, totally I loved all of these scenes, but I really wish that in Toshiro's secret story they had added a scene where Rangiku and Toshiro arrive at Ichigo's house for the first time and how they realized Isshin was there, recognizing him as their former captain, especially since Kubo has already confirmed this in one of his answers, that when they first came to Ichigo's house, they discovered that his father was their old captain. That's why, guys, I truly hoped we could have seen a scene like this in the story. In the end, guys, what do you think about Toshiro's story in this game? Tell me, guys, your opinions, and see you in my next video.